There has been much talk over the past couple of years about foreign interference, and despite the delaying tactics of the Liberal-NDP coalition, Justice Hogue was able to finally come to some conclusions. The first is that foreign interference has occurred, chiefly by China, India, and to a lesser extent, Iran. The second is that the easiest way to subvert our democracy is through the nomination candidates and their contests. Nomination campaigns are under less scrutiny and do not have the same rules across the parties. It is under these conditions that agents of the Chinese government were able to bus in students who were under threat and provide them with false documentation so they could vote for the candidate who would best represent China's interests. Han Dong, a Liberal candidate from Toronto. Dong became the candidate in 2019, and despite reports by CSIS being brought to the Prime Minister, Dong was allowed to run again in 2021. It was only after the news stories broke that Dong was asked to leave cabinet and sit as an independent, which means he will get a pension from Canadians if the next election waits until October of 2025. Particularly concerning in this regard is in seats that are considered safe and sure bets to win. Corrupting those contests guarantees that a foreign power has placed within Parliament a candidate that is on their side. While it is harder during a general election to interfere, the case of Conservative MP Kenny Chiu tells us it is possible. Foreign agents of the Communist Party of China, through their proxy organizations such as the United Front Workers Department, created a shell of organizations to provide support to a Liberal candidate to get them nominated, and then used their influence in the general election to sow disinformation about Mr. Chiu on Chinese social media platforms, resulting in his loss. The special report by NSICOM further explains that interference is ongoing at the provincial and municipal level too. Founders of the Chinese Canadians Go to Vote Association, the organization that had a direct hand in the defeat of Kenny Chiu, were at a fundraiser for the Liberal-endorsed Progress Vancouver Municipal Party. The NSICOP report classifies people as witting or unwitting in their relationship to these foreign actors. The thing to bear in mind here is the length to which these actors go to get into the back rooms of where discussions and decisions are made. The CCP funds the United Front with over $600 million per year to persuade people to vote their way. So why nomination contests? In many ridings, candidates are chosen by as few as 50 people coming out to vote. When it comes time to the general election, most voters choose according to their belief in the leader of the party, whichever party that happens to be. When you consider the issue from this perspective, you can see just how vulnerable our democracy is. In some ridings, foreign agents support nomination candidates in all parties, so that whoever wins the election, one of their people is in. That is a total corruption of the spirit and ideas of democracy and what our forefathers fought for. But you can change this. You can make sure that this does not happen again. Get involved with the nomination campaign phase. Learn about all the candidates and ask them tough questions, me included. Demand answers. Make us accountable. Our democracy is only strong when we participate in it. Freedom isn't free. It requires work and commitment. We have seen our rights erode over the last 9 years, and a prime minister that knew of these threats and ignored them to suit his own purposes. When the time comes to choose your candidate that will represent you in the next general election and in Ottawa, exercise your right to vote. Democracy needs you. Canada needs you. Reclaim your voice by choosing a strong candidate that understands the issues and will fight for your conservative values and will fight to keep our democracy strong.